Is it the right time for you to be buying or selling a home? Don't go it alone. Trust the team at dangemis.com.
I just wanted to say kudos. I thought it. A lot of people are thinking it. You said it.
This is the Dan Gemis Real Estate Show.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. With you till 1 o'clock today and back tomorrow from noon to 1 here on AM800. In studio with me today, Joyce Blackmere, Cassie Baggio, and it's time for our legal tip of the month with our good friend Christian Janice, real estate lawyer with Simply Close. Hey, Christian, how are you?
Hey, Dan, how are you? Cassie, Joyce, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, fantastic.
Hey.
A beautiful day out there. And, so Christian, it's a great topic today, actually. And obviously, folks listening may have heard of a new rental licensing pilot that the City of Windsor has put in place. Now, specifically for Wards 1 and Wards 2 to start off with, correct?
Yeah, so it's a 2-year pilot study for Wards 1 and 2, and it applies to all rental units within those wards. So if you don't have a rental property in there, then these requirements don't apply to you, probably yet. So it applies to any rental unit, and that includes, so if it's a duplex or a single-family home, it still applies. The definition's worded a little bit weird, but I actually called the city and confirmed, and it does apply to like standalone units. It's not just if you're sharing. What's interesting to note is that you actually can't even market a place for rent until it's licensed. So if you start to advertise a unit before you're licensed, then you're technically breaching the bylaw, and you could be penalized for that.
So if I had to guess, the City of Windsor staff is going to sit at a computer and they're going to quickly realize who is licensed and not by just searching listings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? I would think.
Yeah. And there's actually good intention. So what they're trying to do is make sure that these rental units are properly maintained for the health and safety of the occupants. So there's a lengthy application form available on their website, but one of the components of the application is like a property checklist that they have to go through each year to make sure that the hot water is being provided properly, there's no damage to the property, no mold, mildew, sewage is proper. So it applies to existing properties, but it'll also apply to new builds, which would probably have all of these requirements anyways because of the permits that they have to satisfy.
Yeah. So is there discussions with regards to cost? What's it costing to do this?
So anybody that owns a property or anybody that owns a property after May 31st, you have to submit the application by May 31st. The licensing fee is $466 initially, and then each year the licenses expire on May 31st, so you have to do a renewal of $275. So in other words, if you obtain a license today or in November, it still expires by May 31st the following year.
Interesting. Now, one license per building or per unit? Like, so if I have a sixplex, it's one license per building or per unit?
One license per unit. So if you have one unit that has multiple rooms, that will count as one unit. But if you have a duplex, that would count as 2 units.
So if you're doing like a rent by the room sort of thing, shared accommodations, that's one unit, correct?
Yes, but it only applies to properties that have 4 or less units. So anything above 5 units, then it wouldn't apply. That would be considered a lodging home or one of the other exemptions that requires another permit.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Interesting.
So they have an application form on their website. The application form is pretty detailed, and it has a list of a bunch of other requirements that you need to submit. So you have to do an electrical safety assessment, a criminal record check, proof of ownership, property standards list. So if you are planning to submit an application by May 31st, it's likely important that you start to look into it now because you can't get a criminal record check, within 24 hours. It's going to take time. Same thing with the electrical safety assessment. There are some requirements that aren't required each year. So the property standards checklist is required each year, but the electrical safety assessment's only required every 5 years.
Okay. Jeez. It's tough, right? Because on one hand, you're going to have property owners who will not be happy about this because they don't want to spend money, right? On the other hand, you'll have, and I shouldn't paint everyone with the same brush, because some people understand the importance of having a proper unit. Listen, we sell real estate for a living. We see it all. And we walk into property where we're like, what in the world? If people only knew. And so I understand the importance of making sure that properties are up to snuff for safety, because you don't want issues, and you have tenants, you have human beings living in these units, right? But a lot of people are not happy with having to dish out the funds, for these licenses. Yeah,
the funds is one thing, but the requirements are pretty extensive. Like, you need a criminal record check for all owners. So anybody that has an investment with multiple owners, every single owner has to get a criminal record check, and it has to be 30 days before the license. So there's a little bit of a timing and coordination component. If you have a partnership agreement, or if there's a partnership that owns the property, that has to be disclosed. So you may not want that information provided. If it's a business, you have to complete a separate form and provide a corporate profile report. So there's some pretty extensive requirements depending on how your investment is structured. You have to provide property insurance and prove that it's a rental on the insurance, so you can no longer lie to the insurance company because it's required for this application. It's pretty extensive.
Wow. Well, still more to come on this as time goes on, and I'm looking forward to, as the next year or so goes on. I know it's a 2-year pilot, but I'm sure they'll have some stats within the next little bit to see how it works out for everyone, for the city and for the property owners. So I guess more to come on this, right, Christian?
Yeah, and if anybody has any questions, they can feel free to reach out to us at hello@simplyclose.ca or give us a call at 519-997-3775.
Fantastic. Listen, as always, thanks for the advice, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Take care.
Of course, you too. That's Christian Janice, real estate lawyer and corporate lawyer with Simply Close. And they're an amazing team. If you have any questions about anything you heard, again, reach out to his team, and they're happy to help. And if you're not sure, if you didn't grab his information, reach out to us and we can put you in touch as well. So if you just Google Simply Close law firm or law, it'll come up there online very, very easily. So there you go. Okay, so we're going to come back. We're going to it's time for our fun question of the day. And we're talking about the end of the world today.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or are we? Yes, with AI, artificial intelligence. We want to know, are you excited about AI? You've heard everyone talking about open AI or what am I thinking of the right thing?
ChatGPT.
Which is writing everyone's scripts and articles and blogs for them in the last few months. And Microsoft recently invested $10 billion into the company. So we'll talk about whether or not you think this is really cool or scary, or you're not sure yet. And we'll talk about our opinions too. And we've got some texts that have already started rolling in with some thoughts. So make sure you send us your thoughts right now at 10800, and we'll go over that in the next segment. Okay, so lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemis Real Estate Show.